You always hear about the freshman 15, you know, when you go to college and you put on 15 pounds, but you never hear that as a sophomore, you still gain more. Aloha, it's Katie, and I just finished my sophomore year at Cornell University. If you click this video for the title, you already know that I've gained 25 pounds since the start of college in freshman year. Is it really my fault though that Cornell's dining halls are ranked top 5 in the nation? But for real, I know that I'm not the only one right now going through changes in their body, gaining weight, especially during the quarantine right now. You may have heard quarantine 15 even. I also feel like this topic can be a bit taboo nowadays because the only videos I see on my feed are how to lose weight, Chloe Ting ab challenge. A lot of the videos I see are about people trying to get more fit, to get more healthy, but nobody ever talks about their experience to getting to an unhealthy or new point in their life. I just hope that being honest about my journey will encourage you on your own too. Before I entered college, I was an athlete in high school. I played volleyball and badminton for all 4 years. I was on the varsity team. We would train 4 to 5 times a week with both practices and tournaments, and that would be at least 2 hours a day. I would say I was healthy, but definitely really skinny. And I had always attributed this to my fast metabolism, and all my family knew that I ate a lot. Even though my sister likes to say I looked malnourished, I was eating a lot, and I guess I was just burning through a lot of that because of all the sports I was playing. My diet was normal. I'd say I had an even distribution of protein, veggies, fruits, carbs, and not so much dairy. Actually, one time I tried to cut sodium, and big mistake, I cramped a lot because of all the exercise I was doing, because your body needs electrolytes. Here's the really weird thing that I think will be surprising. I barely ate any dessert. I didn't like chocolate, I didn't like cake, I never ate cookies.
Are you serious?
I did drink a lot of milk tea, but I'd say average, like once a week. Now after college though, a lot of this changed. Firstly, I did not continue sports at all. I took a fitness class, which meant twice a week for 50 minutes, and I don't think that's comparable at all to the amount of exercise I was doing back in high school. So we have reason number 1 of why I gained a lot of weight. I just stopped exercising as frequently and as intensely. Now this leads into the second reason. The nature of my workouts just changed. I went from doing a lot of cardio, a lot of, team sports. I would go to the gym sometimes and do fitness, but that was very on and off and not consistent. Yes, I was walking a lot in college, and I probably hit 10,000, 14,000 steps every day, but I didn't really count that. When I went to college, I wanted to give fitness a try, so I wanted to do more muscle building and strength training. So to be fair, at the start, I knew that I was going to gain a lot of weight from doing this. I actually would eat twice as much as I normally did, and especially when I exercised before dinner, I would get 2 full plates of food, I would get soup, I'd get fruits, and I would even get like 2 slices of cake, 2 cookies, sometimes cereal. I think I was just really empowered in college to just eat and let loose, and so the sweet tooth side of me did come out. And this, I think, is the third reason why I gained a lot of weight. I just ate more. But it wasn't even just during meals. I would just be constantly eating. Like, from the second I woke up to the moment I went to bed, I would be eating for a 14-hour period. So like 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. at midnight. Midnight was really the worst because that would be when I was studying, channeling all my stress into eating, binging. I would buy boxes of fruit gummies. I would hoard bananas, which are relatively healthy, but then I also had a lot of seaweed, which I brought from home. And so fourth reason, I ate a lot more sugar and junk food specifically. And those, as you know, build up that fat. And the last reason, which I touched on a bit, is that I had zero respect for an eating period. Like 24/7, eating was cool and necessary for me to especially stay awake those late nights to study. I know it's not healthy, and I've changed since then. Personally, it is not healthy if you don't have an eating window at all. I don't think it's great for how our bodies were built. If you've read up on circadian rhythms, these are just the internal body clocks that we have to tell when to eat. I was just messing it up completely because at night I would eat so much food into my body that would signal, hey, let's stay awake, let's give Katie some energy and motivate her to eat some more. That's obviously not how my stomach talks, but even from just a general health perspective, it is so bad for your body because at night you'll be midnight snacking. It'll make you stay awake super late, and then the next morning you barely get any sleep. You have to wake up, 9 a.m. for your classes, and your body is tired. And when your body is tired, it creates those hunger hormones and makes you seek fatty foods or whatever carbohydrate you can get for just easy energy. And those are often, like I mentioned, sugar and junk food. So if I could go back and redo it, I would definitely not get myself entrenched in that cycle of just waking up really hungry and then being really tired at night but having to finish my work, so I would eat more and then I would not be able to sleep and then I have to get up super early the next day and boom, boom, boom. I tell you now, and I wish somebody had told me, but lack of sleep is probably your biggest oversight and obstacle in your fitness journey. You may think that you have the diet, that you have the exercise, and you're wondering like, why am I not feeling stronger, better, healthier? It is because you probably aren't sleeping. And I highly recommend you check out my how to lose weight fast video because it has been a game changer for me. Okay, so now we've analyzed why exactly I gained so much weight, and hopefully it has helped you reflect also on where in your life you may be gaining all this unhealthy weight. So now for solutions I tried, and I would just like to say that these solutions aren't all about just losing weight, because I don't think that losing weight is what it means to be healthy. I think what it means to be healthy is you're eating well, you're sleeping well, you're exercising, and you're doing all the right things to feel healthier, stronger, happier, not because you have slim legs or a glowing face, even though those are all wonderful things and I think they can be byproducts of what I mentioned. But I would just like to clarify that because I think media nowadays can portray what it means to be healthy as losing a lot of weight, getting flat abs, getting a big butt, yada yada yada, but it's not my indicator for how I'm doing, because if I had put my worth and my self-esteem in only the physical aspect of health, I don't think it would be healthy at all, especially mentally and emotionally. So the first thing I tried is something I do up till this day. It's intermittent fasting. It's when you only eat for an 8-hour period, so mine is 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. and it helps boost your metabolism and also control your cravings because you restrict your time period for eating. It's not like at midnight you can just be like, I want to buy some midnight cookies. Nuh-uh, it's outside your eating window, so don't go there. Your body likes routine. The big bonus too is your body will now digest food faster when it gets it because it knows it only has 8 hours to eat. Super important note, this is not for everybody. If you are thinking of trying this, the key is to listen to your body, and I would encourage you first to do more research on this to see if it's something that will fit your diet. But when I started this, I did not just go from a 14-hour eating period to an 8-hour period. I transitioned into it smoothly. I would do it incrementally, and I would make sure that whenever I felt weak or hungry, I would eat. It doesn't matter if you break the fast, especially at the start, because some people will feel really tired or, you know, they'll have negative side effects, and that is not the point of this. You know, if this doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you, and there are a lot of other things you can try. Second thing is I changed my diet. Nowadays, I eat high protein, high veggies, low to no carbs. It's funny because I literally just ate a lot of fried rice this morning. And when I say diet, guys, I do not mean changing how you eat just so you purposely eat less. We know that's not sustainable, and it is going to make you more unhappy in the long run because you will almost always gain that weight back in the future. Third and last thing is controlling my eating and cravings. I have definitely been overeating, and it's even harder because I'm back in Asia, and you know, Asians love scarfing food down you. They glorify it. They're like, oh, you eat more. Here, I'll put this on your plate, you know, just. So when I stopped overeating, I immediately lost 5 pounds. I also noticed other benefits, like I no longer had food comas, and when I stopped overeating, I noticed that I would still feel full in the morning. Like my stomach would not growl, and if it ever did, then that was when I would immediately eat, and that would always be around 12 p.m. so it was already very synced up. I've also taught myself to be more aware of my appetite and cravings. This is something I never questioned when I was in college, especially recently during final season. During this time, all I think about is studying. I will do whatever it takes. I will eat or get whatever short-term satisfaction thing to fuel me in order to complete my finals. This, of course, led to a lot of binging and just being really restless. For example, I'll be studying at 3 p.m. and now I need a break, but I'm also hesitant to get a break because I know to study more. And so what do? The first thing I think of is to eat ice cream. So that's exactly what I do. I don't think twice, I just know that I need a productivity break right now. And recently I think I've improved a lot in this. I think I just had to sit myself down and be real about the things in my life that I were idolizing, and this is also just from a Christian perspective, but you know, in my life I want God and my spiritual health to be the number one thing. It is just so easy to lose sight of that. It's easy for me to start idolizing productivity, to idolize eating food, to idolize everything else than the one thing that gives me the most peace. And so just like literally humbling myself to see that these past few weeks has helped me just to have immense peace, has done wonders for my health, eating problems, and even productivity. Like I still get as much done, but now I'm not anxious to just define my days by how much I do. So let's talk about currently. It is quarantine. I haven't left my house for 60 plus days, almost 70 now. What have I been doing and what can you do? Number one, biggest game changer is don't sit immediately after eating. Walk it off. What I will do nowadays is I will prop my laptop on the back of my table and I will stand behind it and work. I forgot that in college after I ate, I would normally walk around, especially if I was eating in a college town. I would always walk back to my dorm or do some kind of physical activity after, and so that probably helped me digest. But here, what do I walk? Maybe like 10 meters to go to my kitchen? Okay, not 10, but you get what I mean. Next thing, I am challenging myself to not eat sugar or junk food. I'm gonna do this for 30 days because I really think that a lot of the weight I gained, and also just like a lot of the fat in general that I gained, is because I'm eating a lot of artificial food, which isn't healthy. And I know some of you might be thinking, well, I really hope you guys aren't thinking this actually, but Katie, you're so skinny still, like, you know, whatever. Like, I think we're all on our own journeys. A lot of the fat I gain, I will say, is in my thighs, and I just really hope this doesn't become like a pointing fingers game of like, you're still skinnier than, you know, the average person, because that's not at all what this is about. I think we all need to just respect that everyone goes through their own journeys. The biggest point I want to make in this video is that we all go through our own changes in body, and for me, gaining 25 pounds, gaining all this weight in areas of my body that I never have before is personal to me, and you know, beyond just the physical aspect of it, it's changed just like my well-being. I just hope that if you're watching this and you choose to comment and you share your own fitness journey, that we would all just help each other and recognize that everyone goes through their own experiences. Anyways, back to the sugar point, is natural sugar in fruits is still sugar. And I would tell myself that it was okay, especially in Cornell, when I would do a lot of coffee chats, I would feel, you know, obligated to buy something, so I would buy a smoothie almost every day. And yes, relatively, that's a key word, it's better than artificial sugars, but it still is sugar. If you have a sugar craving, so sure, you can say that you eat fruit and smoothies, but the second you don't have those, you still have a sugar craving, and what's your first instinct? You go for that cake, you go for that cookie, you go for that chocolate. So something to keep in mind is just like, don't have a sugar craving in the first place, because it doesn't really give you any benefit. In fact, it only makes it more tempting for you to turn to less healthy sugars when the time comes. My biggest just principle is everything can arguably be good as long as it is in moderation. Remember that, guys. So that was my journey, but we're not done yet. The final and most important part is my biggest takeaways. Like, am I happy with this weight gain? How did I deal with it? How did I cope with it? You know, was it a big deal in my life? Yeah. I think this is the part where I say, I'm unhappy, I'm trying to lose weight now, I think I'm ugly, and you know, the grass is always greener on the other side. But that's not true. I am on the other side. I gained weight, and overall, I am happy. I feel strong, I feel healthy. And if I had not gone through this journey and learned about my body in its extremities, I would have never come to appreciate my body. I would not have learned what it means to be healthy. I wouldn't have been able to identify the unhealthy things that I had been doing in my life, and for that I am grateful. And I would not change anything, and I do not regret anything I did. In fact, I'm really happy that I experienced this, because now I can make a video about this and hopefully you can avoid the same mistakes I made. I also think back to my high school self, and to be fair, I got the body that I dreamed of. I think this is very much Western standard. I feel like beauty standards are different. I'd say in my experience, I feel the East is more, you know, like slim, and whereas in the West, it's more like curvy and volume. So, I mean, I did get it. I got a bigger everything. I got bigger certain body parts. But yeah, I did come with a bonus, like double chin and rounder face. And I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of my thighs, just because there have been people in my life who have pointed it out, and in not a good way, so of course, you know, how am I supposed to feel about that? But the thing is, it never stops, and even when I was skinny, people would say I looked malnourished, that I looked sickly, and I mean, I'm on like the other side now, and you know, none of it's changed. Like, it's still the same. People are never gonna be satisfied. And I've also just given less weight to what people say, because I feel good about myself, but there are of course times when, you know, you fall back a bit, and it does affect you from time to time. And also, hey, on the bright side, I feel like I actually have things to work with now. And by that, I mean, when I was skinnier, I couldn't really gain muscle. Like, the most I felt I could do was get flat abs, but I really couldn't tone anything. I think it's a fun experiment for myself to challenge myself and see what I'm capable of, and just to see the results of it. Our bodies are a home that we will be living in for our entire life. There are third world countries that are developing where people lack access to safe water, food, sanitation, just hygiene, and overall education about what it means to have a healthy body. So please, I hope that you are grateful for that and you realize how much of a gift it is to even have the opportunity to feed your body these good things, to exercise it, so it is the best that it can be. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. I've never done any video like this before. I don't know what the response is going to be like. Please, I would love to hear about your stories, what your eating is like, exercise, sleeping, or how you've changed over these years. Let's get a whole comment section going. Spread support, encourage one another, give each other advice, because hey, that's what our Aloha family is all about. I will see you next week with another video. Make sure to subscribe if you're new here and if you want to see more videos about college, studying abroad, yada yada yada. I hope you learn to love your body because it is an incredible gift. Bye guys.